We haven't seen a Genshin lore video in a hot minute. Minsleaf uploaded a new video, the Genshin theory that changes everything, with this incredible thumbnail, alluding to Kaeya being from the future, and honestly, since the latest Archon quest, I could actually kind of see this adding up. Curious where Min's gonna go with this, but let's take a look.
This video will contain spoilers for the space and time for you Archon quest.
Of course.
Kaeya Alberich is the cavalry captain, with no cavalry, of the
Bro,
Knights
I'm still so sad. Did you know, guys, there's somewhere in Mondstadt that if you go and turn the sound effects all the way up and the music down, you can actually hear horses?
of Favonius in Mondstadt, known for his charisma, cunning nature, and secrets.
Yup.
Beneath the charm lies a hidden past.
He's known for a lot more than that.
Kaeya is from Khaenri'ahn, the fallen, godless nation destroyed during the Cataclysm 500 years ago. He was sent to Mondstadt as a child by his biological father with a cryptic mission to be Khaenri'ahn's last hope.
Which is very interesting. Honestly, and again, I didn't really put two and two together until pretty much right now, to be honest. After the latest Dainsleeve quest, it brought up a lot of theories about, obviously, Khaenri'ahn being revived, but also about the conversation Zhongli had with you, the Traveler, back in his first story quest at the end, I think it was, where it was like, you are the witness of this world. You're meant to like record everything and create like a celestial atlas or something, right? Which could also be the contract to end all contracts. Maybe Kaeya is to Khaenri'ahn what we are supposed to be for Teyvan in a weird way, because he does have his secrets. Maybe he knows a lot more than he's already let on about Khaenri'ahn.
What exactly that means is still unclear.
True.
In today's video, we're diving deep into one of Genshin Impact's most mysterious characters, Kaeya Alberich.
Hell yeah. Also, my favorite 4-star in the game in terms of lore and character itself. I love Kaeya so much.
Just Mondstadt's top candidate for grandson-in-law. He's a Khaenri'ahn with a vision, a descendant of the founder of the Abyss Order, and maybe a time traveler sent to prevent the fall of a kingdom.
Bro, that'd be so cool.
That hasn't even been built yet. And since we're talking about the debonair and possibly handsome Kaeya, today's sponsor couldn't be more fitting. Today's video is sponsored by Love and Deep.
I knew it, bro. I knew it. I'm actually tempted to start up a series on this channel where I try out pretty much every gacha game, even if it's just for like a couple of hours, and condense it into like a 30-minute to 1 hour long video of just experiencing the gacha games from like the best of the best to the worst of the worst.
Kaeya was taken in by the Roggenvinder family, raised alongside Diluc by Crepus, the head of the Dawn Winery. Though Kaeya respected Crepus as a mentor, he didn't see him as a true
so cute, dude.
Father, at least not at first. That changed after Crepus's death. In his vision story, Kaeya reflects on his guilt for arriving too late to save him, and finally calls Crepus his adoptive father.
If y'all have never read the Genshin manga, by the way, I highly recommend it. Even if you're not like super interested in the lore, if you like reading, the manga is a fantastic read.
Recognizing the man who had raised him with love, unlike the birth father who abandoned him. Kaeya and Diluc were extremely close growing up, almost like twins, always together, always in sync. But that bond was shattered one fateful evening. During a battle with Ursa the Drake, Crepus used a delusion that backfired and left him in unbearable agony. I'm
hoping in Not Cry we actually get some more delusion lore and info about him. We know a good amount already, but honestly, it's like a lot of characters we kind of just assume are using delusions at a certain point, right? Like Capitano, for example. A lot of people are like, he must be using a delusion for this like weird cryo power.
To spare him, Diluc took his father's life. That same night, a guilt-ridden Kaeya revealed the truth. He was a Khaenri'ahn agent sent to Mondstadt as part of a mission. His confession led to a brutal fight between the brothers. As they clashed, Kaeya's vision appeared. It was the first time he'd ever stood against Diluc as his true self, no longer hiding behind the lies. The battle ended in a stalemate, but it left scars both emotional and physical. It's implied that the reason Kaeya wears an eye patch is because Diluc wounded him during that fight.
It's actually not, it's because he inherited it from his grandpa.
Since then, the relationship has been distant and strained, but recent quests hint that despite everything, there's still a lot of love and care between them, and maybe a path to real reconciliation.
100%. I'm just hoping that scene that we just saw a minute ago where Diluc's going after the Cryo Abyss Mage, I hope it's not like foreshadowing for something with Diluc and Kaeya in the future, if you know what I mean. Because back when Genshin first came out, I'm pretty sure Kaeya's, I want to say 4th constellation, or no, it was a Talon. It was a Talon. It got changed, and it was called Heart of the Abyss, but now it's something totally different. A lot of subtle foreshadowing with Kaeya that I'm not entirely convinced about, but very interesting lore.
Kaeya was incredibly close to the Ragnvinders, and all things considered, lived a pretty peaceful life in Mondstadt. Well, as peaceful as it gets in Genshin, where 99% of the cast have emotionally devastating backstories. He became a respected and trusted member of the Knights of Favonius and is well loved by Mondstadt society. Even though Kaeya was originally sent to Mondstadt...
Did we ever get clarification on why Kaeya's vision only has 2 wings on each side instead of 3? I actually don't remember if we did.
Favonius and is well loved by Mondstadt society. Even though Kaeya was originally sent to Mondstadt on a mission from Khaenri'ahn,
he made it his home, bro.
That mission has long since faded into the background. Or so we're led to believe. His bond
I don't think it has.
With Mondstadt,
but it does feel like it has.
And his people is genuine, and he's dedicated to protecting them.
Maybe he's just that good at his mission, though, that he's now making it look like there is no mission, right? Making everybody forget, nobody question his motives and what he's actually doing. Especially after being involved even slightly with the Dainsleif quest. It's like, I hope he's in the next Dane quest, dude. I hope we'll get a Dane quest more than once a year, but that's just asking for far too much at this point.
Still, he carries the weight of his past. If Khaenri'ahn and Mondstadt were to ever clash, who would he stand with? That tension defines Kaeya's character, constantly walking the line between 2 worlds, but never fully belonging to either.
I like to think he would stand with Khaenri'ahn, but I think with Genshin's story and the way that they handle this kind of thing, I think it would more likely be Mondstadt that he'd side with. I'd like to think he would stick with the homeland, you know, and cause a little bit of friction and tension, not only within, like, his own relationships with the Luke and Jean and stuff, but also with the player base. Like, imagine Klee just being absolutely devastated that Kaeya's, like, gone off and joined the new Khaenri'ahn dynasty or something instead of sticking with Mondstadt. Maybe they have horses, bro.
If Kaeya's trying to run from his past, honestly, it might be for a good reason. He's always known he was from Khaenri'ahn. In the Karibar Archon quest, he mentions overhearing Crepus talking about sending merchants to Sumeru. Since Khaenri'ahn is located beneath it, a curious young Kaeya stowed away in their cargo to learn more, only to get caught and dragged back to Mondstadt by the ear. When asked how much he actually knows about Khaenri'ahn, Kaeya admits he doesn't know much. Just bits from books, and over time, he started to care less.
I wonder if that's the truth, bro. The fact that Dane's looking over this, I don't know, dude. I really want to believe he knows more than he's letting on about Khaenri'ahn, and he is like the Khaenri'ahn Atlas, or at least a part of the healing process with like memories and stuff to restore to the ley lines, but I don't know.
Wondering if maybe his father just wanted him to live a normal life in Mondstadt. He says the only thing still tying him to Khaenri'ahn is his last name, Alberich. And that's when Dainsleif pops out of the shadows like the drama king he is. He lives to expose people and their trauma, and I reckon it's one of his favorite hobbies. Love that for him, honestly. He drops the lore bomb that the Alberichs were the founders of the Abyss Order. Yep. Messy.
Yeah, very messy, especially with the theories that it could be an Abyss Mage and such, right? Or like a part of the Abyss Order in some way, shape, or form.
Enemy factions in the entire game, and Kaeya's family is casually the reason it exists. The Alberich clan was a powerful family from Khaenri'ahn, known for producing top military leaders during the Eclipse dynasty. During the Cataclysm 500 years ago, Antorphus Alberich served as Knight Marshal and Regent for King Irmin, sacrificing himself to defend what was left of their people. After Khaenri'ah's fall, another clan member, Clothar Alberich, fathered a child named Karibar with a
This was a heartbreaking quest, bro.
woman from Mondstadt. When Karibar became a Hilichurl due to the curse of wilderness, Clothar sought a cure in Sumeru.
Say what you want about Genshin's storytelling, but the actual lore and story of this, bro, I remember when doing this quest, afterwards, everybody was like, wait, so all the Hilichurls that we've just been brutally rampaging over for the past, like, 3 years, they could all be little Caribers, dude.
Eventually turning to abyssal power and founding the Abyss Order. The bloodlines seem to have endured, and Kaeya Alberich might be the only known living descendant. So where exactly did Kaeya come from? Was he part of a group of immortal Khaenri'ahns who survived the Cataclysm and hid away in isolation? In the Space and Time for You Archon quest,
here we go. Now we're getting into the meat of things.
Suspects that Diridith is a Khaenri'ahn who likely resettled somewhere remote after the fall of their nation. He was wrong about this, but there is a possibility that other surviving Khaenri'ahns are out there. But
that is very true.
An important distinction. During the Cataclysm, pure-blood Khaenri'ahns were cursed by Renova with immortality and eventual bodily decay, while non-pure-bloods like Karibar and Diridith received the curse of the wilderness, which turned them into Hilichurls. Kaeya's case is strange. He has the signature star-shaped pupil associated with Khaenri'ahns, but
this was always something that I got confused about, whether he was like pureblood or not pureblood, because as far as I remember, I don't think it was ever explicitly stated either way.
But it's smaller compared to others like Dainsleif.
True.
This might suggest his bloodline is diluted. Maybe his Khaenri'ahn ancestors had children with people from Teyvat. But there are still a lot of unknowns. We don't know if Celestia's curses passed down to future generations, or if cursed Khaenri'ahns could even have children in the first place.
That's two things I've literally never even thought about, to be honest. Let me keep watching.
In Kaeya's character story 4, we get a rare glimpse into his past. As his father left him at the Dawn Winery, he told Kaeya, "You are our last hope," with a look of both hope and hatred in his eyes, gazing toward Khaenri'ah across the horizon. But what was he really looking at? The ruins of a destroyed Khaenri'ah? Or a future Khaenri'ah?
The building blocks of a new Khaenri'ah, more than likely. Now that we have this information in the game, it changes so much context from previous stories, dude.
This brings us to our theory. Kaeya is from the future. In the Space and Time for You Archon quest, the Abyss sibling successfully creates the ley lines for new Khaenri'ah using memories from old Khaenri'ah. Now, all that's missing is a physical location to anchor those ley lines to make new Khaenri'ah a reality. What if he's
We know Kaeya knows where the old Khaenri'ah was, right? In Sumeru.
not from old Khaenri'ah, but from new Khaenri'ah? Kaeya's pupils are different because he comes from a different Khaenri'ah. If so, what if his father sent him back in time for a reason? New Khaenri'ah was built from memories of a world that was destroyed. So, what happens if those same memories are flawed, unstable, or destined to repeat the same fate? If Kaeya's from the future, what was he meant to change? So, if Kaeya really came from future Khaenri'ah to the past and Mondstadt, shouldn't he know what's coming? Maybe, or maybe not. But
Interesting. You probably wouldn't know what's coming, right? I mean, we've had multiple cases of memory wipe situations in this game so far. Wouldn't surprise me if this was just another case of that.
Travel through time, he would have needed the power of Istaroth, the ruler of time, and using a ruler's power always comes with a price. When Mawika used the ruler of death's power, the cost was her own death. Istaroth is also known as the goddess of moments. Memories. So the cost of using her powers might be memories. It's possible the memory sacrifice wasn't even his. His birth father may have given up his own memories so Kaeya could survive the jump to the past.
Ooh, interesting thought. That'd be kind of cool. A self-sacrifice for a better future, not for you, but for your child. That is a trope that exists and is used quite a lot, actually.
That could be why Kaeya is considered Khaenri'ah's last hope, and possibly the last of the Alberich clan with the plans to save new Khaenri'ah. This theory definitely gives more meaning to his burst voice line.
This moment will be frozen in time.
Actually,
What the fuck was that, bro?
definitely
What
gives
is
more
this?
meaning to
What
his
is this
burst voice
from?
line.
This moment will be frozen in time.
I've never seen that one. I don't think. What is that?
I actually thought of something darker while making this video. Istaroth is the ruler of time and moments. We originally assumed the sacrifice might have been memories, that Kaeya or his father gave them up to make the jump. But what if
it's time in a much darker sense?
the price wasn't memory at all? What if it was time itself? Time lived, a shortened lifespan, borrowed years. What if Kaeya gave up years, a portion of his lifespan, just to make it back to this point in history? What if he walks through Mondstadt smiling, charming, unbothered?
Be so funny if it was like, yeah, I am actually cursed for immortality, and I did give up a portion of my lifespan, but then that's two people that absolutely played the fuck out of the shades, right?
All the while knowing he's on borrowed
All the
time.
rulers.
What if his birth father gave up his own remaining time, his life force, to send Kaeya back? Surely the time span of a potentially immortal Khaenri'ahn would be a justifiable price. That would explain the mix of hope and hatred in his final words, because the god's rules are so ruthless. Going further with the theory that Kaeya might be from the future, we can also ask, where would new Khaenri'ah have been placed? One strong possibility is the Dark Sea, a realm beyond Celestia's reach, where the defeated gods of the Archon War once fled. If you wanted to rebuild Khaenri'ah in secret, far from divine eyes, the Dark Sea would be perfect real estate. And this
Do you think the Genshin Impact 2 Electric Boogaloo could actually be set in New Khaenri'ahn, and that story is where we take off into like around the Dark Sea area that we've heard practically nothing about at the minute? I was always kind of under the impression that the Teyvat chapter was going to be on the continent of Teyvat, but then by the end of it, we would end up where we are in the beginning of the game with the Sustainer, and then after that, we could just go from planet to planet. But what if we stay on this planet and just go to a different continent?
This brings us back to Kaeya. He once said his eye patch came from his pirate grandfather.
Yep.
One major pirate was revealed during the Nodcry teasers. Reed Miller, a legendary thief,
true, the treasure hoarder, bro.
Founder of the treasure hoarders who dreamed of a world without boundaries and buried a great treasure in the land that would become Nodcry.
Yep.
Kaeya never names his ancestors, but Alice herself teases him about his treasure hunting bloodline during the Golden Apple Archipelago event. And
I don't remember that.
in Mondstadt, NPC Vile notes that Kaeya keeps tabs on the treasure hoarders, suggesting he might still be quietly connected or even in control. If Kaeya is from Khaenri'ahn or even New Khaenri'ahn and a descendant of the very clan that founded the Abyss Order, then why does he have a vision? A divine gift from the very gods his people are supposed to hate? Well, he might have earned it. According to his vision story, Kaeya received his cryovision the night he confessed the truth to Diluc and fought him. In that moment, Kaeya was torn between loyalty to his birth nation and the life he built in Mondstadt.
And that could be the exact same principle of if he's from New Khaenri'ahn, the loyalty to Khaenri'ahn or the loyalty to Mondstadt.
He was choosing who he wanted to be. The vision system may have responded to that clarity of will and ambition, rewarding his choice, not his bloodline. But it's also possible that Kaeya was given a vision precisely because of who he is. Celestia might be keeping tabs on him either as a threat or someone worth influencing. His
fair point.
Vision could be less of a gift and more of a surveillance tool.
It's a track. It's a find my Kaeya.
Be monitor, if you will. So who is Kaeya really? A Khaenri'ahn spy, Mondstadt's protector, heir to the Abyss, and maybe even a man from the future.
I would love him to be all four.
Whether he's Reed Miller's
jack of all trades, bro,
descendant or the key to saving Khaenri'ahn, one thing's certain. Kaeya deserves to be a 5-star.
True.
If you enjoyed this video,
I have said for the longest time, bro, I was talking to Alsus about this the other day, if there's any character that gets the Dunhung treatment or Honkai Star Rail treatment in general where 4 stars get a 5-star variant, I think Kaeya should be the first one, then Ningguang. Good video from Minsleaf there, check the description to check it out. Subscribe to the channel if you want more lore content. I'll catch you all in the next one.